The whole Toy Story franchise is about growing up and letting go. But the franchise itself refuses to do that.
I first saw Toy Story when it came out, and I remember my dad watching it over and over, and he said it was the best movie he'd ever seen of any movie.
And I think it's a perfect franchise, which means every time they come out with a new movie, they risk losing that.
Toy Story is the fear of being replaced, which is
a constant
kind of
franchise,
which we're gonna see in the new movie.
What's gonna make me cry, Pixar?
The villain of the new Toy Story is the very reason why we are having a problem with appeal animation.
The Toy Story franchise does not need ketchup. It's a complete franchise. It doesn't need anything else. It's like the ketchup it's like when the ketchup bottle is empty and you try to get that last bit of ketchup out. That's what they're doing to they're like, ugh, come on, we need more ketchup.
This is Ketchup Theory. To infinity and beyond. Again? Do you remember the first time that you saw Toy Story? I do. I saw it when it came out. But millions of people have seen the first one, and the second one, and the third one, and the fourth one, and now there's a fifth one. Do we need a fifth Toy Story? Well, that's what we're going to talk about as me and Isaac delve in to Ketchup Theory, and we get into, do we need a fifth one? Do we want one? Is it going to be any good? Well, let's find out. All right, welcome to Ketchup Theory. This is actually episode number 3 as we record this. So today we're going to be talking about Toy Story. Now, before we continue, I have a theory about the next Toy Story. Oh, what it was. So
you just wanted to say hi.
Yeah. So for the audio listeners, there's a Buzz Lightyear. Yeah. Okay. We don't need to explain anymore. I have a theory about where the next Toy Story is gonna lead. I don't know. Just a crazy theory. I haven't heard anything, but it's pretty, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. So, I first saw Toy Story when it came out. And I remember my dad watching it, and he watched it over and over, and he said it was the best movie he'd ever seen, period, of any movie. He thought it was just a perfect movie.
Which it is.
Yeah.
Perfect franchise. Perfect, yes. So in case the listeners, our millions of listeners have been asking, what is Isaac's favorite movie franchise? A movie franchise that doesn't look at and go, ugh, and it's Toy Story. And I think it's a perfect franchise. There didn't need to be a fourth one. I'm just going to say it. I love the fourth. I think they did a great job. I don't think the ending is as strong as the third movie. I mean, that is the most perfect ending that a trilogy could have. But I do think it maintains perfect franchise status, which means every time they come out with a new movie, they risk losing that. And I'm not counting Lightyear. I haven't seen that movie. It's different. It doesn't count in the Toy Story franchise. So it is still a perfect franchise. And every time they release a new movie, they kind of risk dropping the ball. And they keep going back to it, which really is a theme that we see with the movie industry today. Continuing to go back to nostalgia and what they know works. I mean, it's the same thing with Robert Downey Jr. coming back to Marvel. They killed off Iron Man and now they're bringing him back. It's just like we see this everywhere.
Well, some people may have not seen the movie Endgame, so spoiler. Spoiler alert.
I think the statute of limitations is up for that.
Okay, all right, and yeah, and everybody, yeah. So we won't give any Titanic spoilers as well.
There is
on
an
the
iceberg
show.
in Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. So, yeah, and you know, I saw the trailer for the new one. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I think the concept is strong.
So before we go into the next one that's coming out, let's kind of go through each one. All right, so let's go through it. First of all, do you have a favorite of all of them?
This is such a hard question. I would say The fourth one is definitely my least favorite. Mostly because I don't really like they made a decision with Buzz Lightyear, and it kind of made him really uh stupid throughout the whole movie, and I don't really like that because he's supposed to be like a leader, which we really see in Toy Story 2. He's really taking charge. So that's definitely my least favorite, but I still think it has a great plot. Woody's my favorite, one of my favorite fictional characters of all time, and I think my favorite Toy Story movie is probably, honestly, I think it's the first one. If I had to pick a favorite, they're all great. Toy Story 3 is really, they're all masterpieces, but I just, when I think about the one I've rewatched the most, it's definitely the first one. Like growing up, I just, it's such a perfect and it's also the most important in the sense of what it did for, it was the first 3D animated movie, so it
Yeah.
has that impact on cinema that kind of adds to the weight of it. But I think it is my favorite, is the first one.
And what made, I don't know, for me, what made it funny was that once again, I remember, my dad watching this and he's just cracking up the whole. I mean, just every little thing, even from the green, from the army men to everything. He's just cracking up the whole time watching it, and I think it. I mean, it's the nostalgia of the nostalgia. It's the nostalgia
Mm-hmm.
of the toys that we used to play, that his generation played with, which we don't see these days. So somebody watching Toy Story may not be as emotionally attached to some of the stories lines that are going on, but it was the humor was great. I think it's the new toy coming in that's
Mm-hmm.
very relevant for any kid. Maybe the new person at school or whatever. It's all very relevant. They can kind of figure that out. I think it's interesting with Toy Story is the fear of being replaced,
Mm-hmm.
which is
A constant in
kind
the
of,
franchise.
yeah, fear of being replaced, and which we're gonna see in the new movie. But it's, yeah, just humor, the lightheartedness of it, the journey of it.
Family
I
friendly. Everybody can watch it together.
Yeah, family friendly. Although Toy Story 3 had some parts that were pretty intense, but
Very intense for a children's movie.
yeah.
But yeah.
So all right, so let's just think about some of the characters in Toy Story. So obviously you said Woody is your favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I thought that like the dinosaur
Yeah.
is I think he's hilarious.
Very
Obviously,
quotable. Such a
yeah,
quotable franchise.
yeah. So I thought that was really funny. Um, it's, yeah, and then you had Sid, which was kind of a new element. I thought it was very clever how the whole plot of how to get him back, and
Mm-hmm.
then them kind of coming alive. So I thought that was very creative. It's just, it's what everybody. I think in the first episode we talked about the Ninja Turtles, and I showed you an AI clip, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I thought. This is how I imagined it, and that's kind of like, when you leave, what do your toys do? And I thought it was
Yeah.
a good premise. I thought for the first one.
And Sid is a really actually a perfect villain because for that movie, because the movie's about Andy who loves his toys. So who's the villain? Somebody who actually destroys toys. So as a counterbalance to Andy, he's a very fitting villain for that first movie. And what do you do when you put toys in a situation where they aren't appreciated like they are with Andy? So it's a really good challenge to Woody's whole sense of how important toys are to different people. So it works. He works really well as a villain for the first movie.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, you go into the second one. See, to me, the second one. See, I feel about the second one the way that you probably feel about the next one. I
Hmm.
didn't think they needed a second one. So
Yeah.
from my perspective, I didn't think they needed a second one. As a matter of fact, the second one is my least favorite,
Hmm.
although the whole Jesse arc is
Yes.
incredible. Probably the most emotional moment next to, I mean, there are key emotional moments throughout each one, and I thought the Jesse sequence was incredibly, emotional. But I didn't think they needed it, and I didn't think the joke landed as good. Um, yeah, so that was my take on that.
Okay, yeah, I really like the second one. I like how it dives into Woody's character a lot more. You learn a little bit more about the history of Woody as a toy, where the first one was more about Buzz Lightyear. And it kind of shows Woody's a much older toy than Buzz is, which is kind of challenging his identity again. But this time he leans into it, and he almost leaves because that's how powerful Jesse's story was to him. He's so afraid that he won't be loved. So he's gonna choose to actually leave Andy, but then when the rest of the toys come out, they kind of knock some sense into him. But then Woody's like, okay, well, they should all come with us, and that's when the villain is revealed to be the prospector, and he comes out of the box. So then that
Again,
kind of
spoiler.
takes the third
Again,
act.
spoilers.
Oh yeah.
Spoilers. You're giving away spoilers, sir.
Well, I mean, that's a very old movie. I think that most of the people have seen Toy Story here.
Yeah, hopefully. All the millions of fans.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I mean, when you have 8 billion people listening, there's a chance that 2 or 3 of them haven't seen it, but, you know.
Yeah, that's true. So, anything else on the second one?
It's my, next to the fourth one, it's my least favorite, but again, still a great movie. A great sequel. I mean, how rare is that a sequel, it could be compared to being as good as the original. And yeah, no, the Jesse sequence is brilliant. I mean, they made you care about a character in 3 minutes, and that's really the first super emotional Pixar moment. You know, Pixar loves to make you cry when you're watching their movies, and that's really the first time they did that because it was the third Pixar movie. There isn't really anything super emotional in A Bug's Life. And Toy Story 1 has emotional moments, but that's the first time where you're watching it and it's like it really hits. So very important also for the Pixar, for the identity of Pixar. That movie had a lot of things that set up things they would do later on, like in Up, the whole opening sequence.
Yeah, and I think in the first one, I like the arc of where Buzz tried to fly and he failed, and then he did, and then he actually did fly, and which spawned your hat, you know, infinity and beyond, the classic line. I think that was more of the biggest. It was just ups and downs. The second one definitely it was less more, but then you go into the third one, and the third one was just
so
very chaotic.
I want to hear your take on the third one because you've grown up with this franchise. I grew up with it, but not as it was coming out. So what's your take on the third one for when you're watching it? I remember when we saw it in the drive-in. I remember watching it for the first time. So yeah.
When it came out.
Yeah, I remember. I was old enough to where we went and saw it. So I'm wondering what your take was because...
Well, I think we ended up seeing the first and second one in the theater.
Oh, yeah.
We went to the theater. We watched the first and second one. They showed it, and then they showed the third one.
I remember that now, yeah.
So, yeah. So, I'd seen every Toy Story in the theater. And so, when I saw that one, I thought it was incredibly action-packed. I thought it was a much more put-together movie than the second one. In terms of, like, the second one, like I said, it was good. It's just... It didn't have that. I didn't think it had that magic that the first one had. But then going into the third one with all the toys, I mean, you just have so many toys in this one. So they're just kind of, and franchises tend to do that. They tend to continue to build off the, they expand the world as they go. Like I mean, if you watch, you know, Bond movies, you know, they always had to outdo the first one. Or you watch any other franchise, you know, they're always trying to just outdo it and do it bigger. And I think they did a really good job making it bigger. It was very intense. And I remember, you know, your sister, you know, my daughter, you know, watching it and was in complete fear of what was going on. And then mom watching it and she was just in horror of I mean, it was like a horror movie at one point.
It is.
But it's intense. But then again, you know, the ending with the toys being given away, that's just heartbreaking. It's just heartbreaking.
Well, the double ending where you think they're gonna be melted in an incinerator, and they all are holding hands.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then Andy giving the toys away and playing with them one last time, and he's driving away, and Buzz goes, "So long, partner." Oh my
Yeah.
goodness,
Oh,
crazy,
I know. I know. That was really tough.
brutal.
Because you kind of grew up on them, and it wasn't just the movie. It was
The toys.
the
I
toys.
had the
It
toys.
was
I got Buzz right here.
yeah. It was the
You
toys.
you
It was
became a part of the movie. They became your toys.
you go to Disney. You go on the ride. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everything was there. And what's interesting is that they weren't dead. They didn't die. It was just it was a double-edged sword of Andy going to college.
It was about growing up.
Yeah, yeah. And so that
Toy
was just
Story
kind
is
of
a
like,
franchise about growing up and letting go.
yeah.
But
And I think all the parents really related to that part,
yes,
which I think it really helped with it. Storytelling is great when you can kind of appeal to almost anybody that's in the theater can kind of relate to
and
what's going
Pixar
on.
knew that at this point, the adults that were watching it are the same people that saw it as kids for the first time. So
Yeah,
Pixar knew who its audience was. They knew that this wasn't just for the kids. This is for all the adults that were kids when the first movie came out. They knew
right.
who they were writing for. They didn't just sidestep all the people that had been with this franchise the whole time. You grew up with Andy. You grew up with Andy. You grew up with the toys, people of that generation, and here's the biggest thing with the biggest issue I think that the franchise has created. The whole Toy Story franchise is about growing up and letting go, but the franchise itself refuses to do that.
Hmm.
The franchise, that's the whole point, is about Andy growing up and watching it through a toy's perspective, but the franchise won't just let go. They keep going. It's like it's betraying its own identity at this point.
To some extent, I have to tell you only because I am much older than you are. So
Spoiler
just
alert.
through a little bit older, just a little bit, just a little.
He's
I mean,
my
well,
dad. I'm not his dad.
yeah,
He's my dad. Just
yeah,
so you
yeah,
guys know the father and son dynamic.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've got action figures in my office right now. I've got figurines. I've got Buzz. I've got Woody. I've got Jessie. I've got Monsters Inc. Um, I haven't let go of it. You know what I mean? I haven't let go of the past. I still like the fact that this one's coming out. I still like it. There's a newer
Yeah,
generation,
I'm excited.
and
I think the premise is strong.
and I don't think it's so much I think it's natural to not ever let go of anything. I think just
Hmm.
humans just hold on to the past so much that I think it does still relate. I think that, well, we didn't. We'll go into four, and then we'll start talking about the premise of the fifth one. We'll kind of talk about it, but yeah, I mean, I think that moment. I mean, the toy. I mean, I really think that I have some things that I still had from when I was younger. I have my comic books that I have in my office. They're all from when I collected them.
Hmm.
So these toys, they're still. So if you're using your imagination, these toys are still around. I mean, technically, according to the Toy Story mythology and the way it works, these toys are still around. There's people that are buying toys on eBay that were originally owned 20, 30, 40 years ago. So
It's
if you're
true.
if you're looking at it from that perspective and these toys really are alive, then they're still around. They're with a new person, they're with it, so they're still gonna be around. So I
It's
don't think it's
true.
completely out of it as far as letting go, but I just think that in general, you will continue to hold on to them.
But
The
Andy did let them go. That's the whole point of the third
yeah,
movie. He did. His character arc was he did give them away. So
yeah,
the franchise is about watching Andy grow up. So here's now the thing with doing another trilogy. The fourth one felt like a great epilogue. Like the epilogue is never the best part of the book, but it's just like, okay, this is what happened after. Okay, that's fine. But now it's like, okay, you're gonna do 5. Well, you might as well just do another trilogy. But the first one had Andy as the constant. So now I guess is Bonnie gonna be the constant, the girl that he gave the toys to? What's the new premise? See, you watch 1, 2, and 3, and it flows as a story. So are 4, 5, and 6 gonna be like 4, 5, and 6 going to feel like 5 separate movies, or are they going to?
Are they doing? Are they doing 3 more?
I imagine they're probably gonna do a 6th one. Yeah.
Well. The
Yes.
one thing that
if they're gonna do 5, I think they're probably gonna do 6 because I mean money. That's what their primary motivation is. They're of course they're gonna do a 6.
And as long as they always have a Toy Story ride, they're always gonna have Toy Story movies.
And that's all right. It's like, okay, fine, do a 6th one, but what's the story now? 1, 2, and 3 have a complete first, second, and third arc. They work as a complete story.
100%. So it would have to be Bonnie.
So what's the story for 4, 5, and 6? Are they going to feel like 5 completely separate movies?
Which
or is
technically the 4th one would be the first one with Bonnie.
Yeah. And it was
would be the first
kickoff.
one. And this one would be the second one with Bonnie. And the third one would have to be when she gets older. And then she would have to,
so
give them away.
They're just recycling the same story over and over again. It's like, are they going to come up with a new premise for 4, 5, and 6? Assuming they do a 6th one, which they probably will. Because they don't have any more ideas anymore, as we've seen from the downfall of Pixar. The sad downfall of Pixar.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean...
They had the best run of all time. Their first 11 movies were like all iconic. And then Cars 2 came out, which was funny, but it started kind of go downhill. And it was
Cars
like great.
3 was amazing.
I think Cars 3 was probably the best movie in the Cars franchise.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, Cars 3 was amazing.
But it wasn't like a super original story. Like Pixar is used to. All the original Pixar movies had the most original concepts. Cars 3 isn't really an original concept. It's just about an athlete that's getting old. That's been done before. And we usually go to Pixar because we want to see something that hasn't been done before. But they keep doing the same thing over and over again.
And they're going to keep doing it until it stops making money. I mean, there's still Cinderella is still popular, Snow White's still popular. I mean, the one thing that the producers said 25 years ago, of directors of Pixar said that Toy Story they've always felt was a perennial story, just a story that never ends. I've always felt that way, and the thing is that, like I said, we didn't really get. We'll get more into 4, but as things develop in society, they are choosing to use Toy Story as the lens as to address it. So I would say, like Mr. Rogers, when he was on, he would take things that were going on and he would address them. And I think that, and Mr. Rogers is an animated.
That's funny that's funny that you mentioned that, because I just watched A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, which is a beautiful movie. Beautiful movie. But that's what he did. He addressed them in ways that children could understand.
Yeah, and I think that this is what
like
they're
Toy
doing.
Story
Especially
1. Toy Story 1 is about jealousy, which is a lesson that children can learn about. It's an allegory.
And Inside Out. What they did with Inside Out, it's very similar, where they can, there's so many emotions.
Favorite Pixar movie.
I see that.
The first one.
So, I thought Toy Story was your favorite movie.
Toy Story, the only Pixar movie that I think is better is Inside Out.
Okay. So,
which makes sense because that's my generation. I watched that I was probably the age you were when I saw Inside Out that you were when you saw Toy Story.
Yeah.
So I see that movie and it's just it's brilliant.
And there's an arc.
The second one was really good too. And
there's an arc.
In that, like Toy Story, makes sense that they would make a sequel because Inside Out is also about growing up. So that makes sense that they would continue that story. Toy Story 3 just feels like such a good ending. It's such a perfect ending, but they kept it going. That's why it feels so like it felt so.
But the ending of Toy Story 4 was incredibly emotional.
It is very emotional, yes. But I just watched all of them in succession. I watched them all in one day, and I didn't feel as strong at the end of Toy Story 4 as I do at the end of Toy Story 3. And what are they gonna do now? Are they gonna keep giving us endings? It's like, oh, Woody left. Oh, Woody's back. It's just like they undid everything. That'd be like if the toys end up going back to Andy at the end of episode 5 or 6, movie 5 or 6. It's like now they have to come up with, okay, well, why is Woody coming back? We had a whole thing where he left. It's like, what's going on here?
So my theory, as I
They
started
could
off
have
with-
made it without Woody. They could have made it without Woody, and just about the toys now and how do they do without him? That'd be an interesting concept.
So my theory, and
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody talk about this yet, but it would be just crazy, and it's not going to happen, but it would be a crazy ending.
Ace Ventura is gonna show up.
No.
Oh.
No. Be a crazy ending.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the girl that gets the tablet?
Mm-hmm.
You know, she starts drawing on it. She starts animation, and then she draws Woody, and she draws Buzz, and that's what starts the whole animation. That's the full circle animation moment.
That's interesting theory.
Yeah, it would be like that's the origin. So everything that happened is the origin of the Toy Story movie.
Huh. Yeah, interesting. That is interesting.
But that would close the loop, of course. But you know, for the toys. But it's just it would, because it's, you know, drawing on the tablet and 3D and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean that's a huge.
That
That's
wouldn't
a
really
huge-
make sense though, because the timeline of Toy Story takes place. The first Toy Story movie takes place in the time. Well, not really. Toy Story 1 doesn't
Yeah.
really reference. It could take place in any time period. They
Anywhere.
don't really show anything that's like super. But it just feels like Toy Story 4 takes place in the modern day.
Yeah.
And also, she got the toys. Yeah, I don't know. I guess.
Are
it
we
could
gonna
work.
finally? Are we gonna finally see Andy's dad again? I mean, what will happen there?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows what happened to Andy's dad.
Nobody knows what happened to Andy's dad. Maybe Toy Story 6 is going to be a prequel about Andy's dad.
Andy's dad, yeah. So I think that with anything, kind of like what we're talking about, the premise of the show is that it is so hard. I mean, we look back when Toy Story came out, that was revolutionary.
Revolution.
It was revolutionary.
Great art.
They're just not. I mean, they would have Inside Out did a great job with creating something new.
Mhm.
Something new that was stellar. It's just going to be difficult to capture that again, especially in the age of, you know, the age of AI, where, I mean, when you look at how Toy Story was made, it was, I mean, it took them years and years. And then they had to pretty much have to start from scratch. I mean, they had started and they had to start from scratch at one point because of the story.
Mhm.
It's it's going to be difficult to see, or it's hard to see what's going to come next from a creative standpoint.
Well,
Spider-Verse changed.
that's what I was gonna
Spider-Verse
mention.
changed it. Yeah.
That's the only thing to me that's come close, because they did something new with animation. And honestly, animation has been very experimental in general. A lot of animated movies have used more blending of animation style. So that's pretty cool. They keep doing that.
But it's still a franchise. I mean, Spider-Verse is a franchise.
It's established
you know?
lore. It's established
Yeah.
the audience. They know the audience is going to see it because it's Spider-Man. It's marketable. Now, and the new Pixar movie Hoppers does not look like it's going to be
No.
anything special at all.
No.
At
no.
all. It completely
No.
lost. I am not intrigued.
No,
We've
no,
seen
I haven't
this-
been excited. I haven't been excited about a Pixar movie in a long time. It used to be a new movie was coming out, you were excited. I haven't gotten excited about a Pixar movie
The
in a long time.
MCU
I haven't been
movies-
excited about a Disney movie in a long time.
Or a Marvel movie.
Well, no, I'm excited for Marvel. I'm excited for Doomsday.
But
and-
it's been a
and-
while since we've been excited for a Marvel movie.
Correct, yeah, because you weren't really sure, and obviously, and once again, it's the same characters. It's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to be the same characters. The Marvel universe is the same characters. It's going to be different people. It's going to be the same. They're kind of doing the same thing with Toy Story. They're bringing back.
Mm-hmm.
it's tough. It's tough because people have a demand. People have a demand, and if it's not met by a certain criteria, something they're gonna panic and they're gonna go to what works.
I know. That's what we do. That's the great challenge, but it's also you're gonna that's not even true. I mean, I'm not going to see. I guess I could say, well, if they did something original, I would go see it, but I'm not going to see the new. I'm not excited for the new Pixar movie, but then again, it's not an idea that intrigues me. And Toy Story 5, I can say the trailer won me over in the sense of like, okay, I think this has a good concept. Okay, I think the concept itself is more interesting than Toy Story 4. The concept, another movie about Woody. Okay, well now we have a movie about technology and stuff. Okay, that's cool. I see what they could do with this, but are they gonna be able to bridge? If they're gonna do another one, are they gonna be able to bridge them? Are they gonna pull it off, or are they gonna risk ruining a perfect franchise?
I think there's a lot that they can do with the technology, but it almost feels like they have to cover everything in one movie, because
Is it
that
gonna feel way too packed, or are they gonna focus on one idea?
the social dilemma is the
Yeah,
fact that people went from toys to
from
their
toys
device
to
and
tablets.
the toys to tablet, and that just going to cover once they have the tablet, and that's the beginning of tablet. So there were times where there were earlier technologies. It doesn't look like what she has in the movie is going to be. It's not like what we have now. I think
Well,
there's
it
going to
looks
be
like
still a
a little
progression.
kiddie thing, like a little tablet
Yeah,
you give to like a kid. Now, my
yeah.
question, another thing is Toy Story has a very specific sense of humor to it, and I didn't really see any jokes in the trailer. Like some of the jokes in the trailer felt a little like general. But one of the great things about Toy Story is the very specific humor. Like one of my favorite jokes is in the second movie when Rex goes, I can't watch. Somebody cover my eyes. Like, are they gonna lose the Toy Story humor? Is it gonna become more generic, or are they gonna stick to the specific humor of the franchise? So that's another thing, But one of the
Yeah,
things
the
that
emotional element was there, right? I mean, the only thing I remember was them just making fun of his hair.
yeah,
That was about
yeah.
it. But it wasn't like anything like knee
Wasn't any
slapper.
laugh out loud moments. Like the Toy
No.
Story movies all have great funny dialogue from the characters.
The one thing I have to say is that I have been a student of Tom Hanks for a long time.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks does not need the money.
No,
He doesn't
that's
need the
true.
money. He's doing so many things. Tom Hanks does not need the money. Actors have a really hard time returning to characters.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Downey Jr., it was a huge payday.
Well, he's doing a new character though.
He is doing a new character, but it's still a huge payday.
In case anyone
And
hasn't heard, Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to the MCU. In
yeah,
case anyone doesn't know.
it was a huge payday, and he still was kind of riding off of Marvel. So he
Mm-hmm.
had 10 years of Marvel. He did a few movies in between, which were
He won
good.
an Oscar.
He won an Oscar for not no, he won an Oscar after. But I'm saying
Yeah.
that was the next thing. So now he's kind of so it's very uncommon for actors to kind of go back into that role. And
Yep.
I will say that for the Marvel side, a lot of the very highly acclaimed actors are coming back to do this. That's
Mm-hmm.
because, Disney has a lot of money. I don't necessarily think where Tom Hanks is, I don't think that would have been such a deciding factor. He is such a Shakespearean student
Mm-hmm.
that I really believe. I can't speak for Tim Allen. I can't speak for either of them, but I can't speak for Tim Allen because he's not doing as much. So this was
Yeah.
definitely good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Hanks did not need to do this.
Yeah.
So
But
for
they weren't
him
going to do it
to
without
do
him
it, right.
because
So
people
for him
would
to do
riot.
it, for him to, that would be.
I wouldn't watch it if Actually, that is something that is good. All of the original, except for a few people that have passed away, all the original cast is back. So that's good.
Yeah.
At least they're
Yeah.
doing that. That is something that it's like, because if Tom Hanks wasn't on, either he didn't like it or, yeah, you couldn't
That's
do
the
it
thing.
without the original actors.
Yeah.
So-
So I don't think he would have done it unless he liked the script.
Right, but
For
usually-
sure. Because he is a
but
major
the
script
scr-
reader.
Right, but the script is the beginning. A lot can go wrong after the script. I don't
Sure.
think I don't think there's that many movie scripts that are terrible. A lot of the problems come after post-production. From script to screen, that's a long journey, especially with an animated movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they have. Yeah. I don't know. I mean,
I think you
Project-
presented the potential biggest problem is trying to cover too much.
Yeah.
Toy Story 1
yeah.
is so simple, and honestly, I think that's why it's my favorite. It has the simplest plot, but that
It's the
allows
most simplest out of all of them.
But it allows
It
so
all
much
takes
room to
place
breathe.
between two houses. Two houses. Oh no, I'm sorry. They do go to Pizza Planet, but
Well, I wanted
it's
to
like
mention
within a
something-
neighborhood.
I wanted to mention something quick. Something that the Toy Story does do. One of the things I love about the Toy Story franchise is they haven't relied on nostalgia in their own movies, in the sense that Pizza Planet is very iconic, right? But they only go there in the first Toy Story movie. They don't go back to it. So it's like, in the fifth movie, are they going to rely too much on nostalgia? Like, oh, we went back to Pizza Planet. We went back to Annie's house. That's things, I'm just seeing potential blunders that a lot of franchises do when they try to return. They try to go back to
They will.
nostalgia. Yeah.
They will.
But they don't.
They
They
will.
haven't needed to so far, and it's still been a smart franchise.
But they don't really have a lot. There's not really a lot. Like, they're not going to go back to the school. Like, Pizza Planet is really the only thing. They're not going to go back to the school. Like, they'll show different characters, but, I think it gives them an opportunity to show new toys, for sure. But there's really nothing.
But the fourth movie really sidelined the original toys. The fourth
Yeah.
movie did. Very
Yeah.
See, a nice thing about that, the reason why I take the second one over the fourth one is because the original toys are still the focus. It's
Yeah.
Andy with Jessie, Bullseye, and the Prospector, and then it's Buzz in the original toys.
Yeah.
They keep adding more toys, which is good. I think they did it better in Toy Story 3, but I don't like the toys in the fourth one, the new additions, as much as I do as the toys in the second one. I mean, it's really hard to introduce a character into a second movie and make them part of the main ensemble, but Jessie and Bullseye did it. They are part of Toy Story, even though they weren't introduced to the second movie. So that's why I like the second one more, because they really focus on that original cast of characters that we like. So I hope they do that in the fifth one. I hope they don't introduce too many new characters, because they've already kept introducing characters, and it always risks weakening all the other ones.
Yeah, and the other thing that they have going for them is they can take Buzz and Woody and, they're the odd couple, right? And that's the classic odd couple trope, sitcom. They can put them in any type of scenario. So as the world continues to
But they keep
change,
splitting them up. In Toy Story
They
2,
do keep
3, and
splitting them
4,
up.
Buzz
They're
and
always
Woody
split up.
Buzz and Woody have the most time together in the first movie. And in 2, 3,
Yeah.
and 4, they're split up for the whole movie. So,
that is true.
yeah, they don't have as much screen time together as we might think. It's really the first movie where they're developing their relationship, and then like every time they meet is like a split scene. But
Every time,
they're
yeah.
always split up. So I hope in this movie they'll actually stay together for some of it, for more of it than
Yeah.
the other ones.
I think they will. I
Yeah.
think they will, 'cause I think the biggest challenge. But like I said, it's like,
Because we haven't really seen them together for a full movie since the first movie.
yeah, and okay, so you introduce a tablet. Okay,
Well, yeah, that's the
fear
villain.
of being obsolete. But it's like, okay, what adventure comes
What's gonna
from
make me
that?
cry? Pixar. Pixar is good when it's.
I don't think the crying is the issue. I think that they're very easy to play with that story. I think it's the, in the first one, the optical was
Jealousy.
Woody left, right?
Mm-hmm.
He
that was the
pushed
plot.
Buzz out,
But it had
he pushed
internal
Buzz
conflict.
out,
It had internal
Right.
conflict.
but that kind of like
What's gonna
that
be the
got them out of their world.
yeah?
That got them out of their world. The second one was, well, he got sold. He had to be, he got sold, so that took him out of his world.
The third one is
the
the
third
daycare.
one, you go to the daycare, take them out of the world. Well, the fourth one is, the fourth one to me, even though it's the earliest one, the latest one, is the least vague to me. I probably haven't seen that as much as the other one. But they're still out of the world. They got the carnival and stuff like that. Where it's like, where are they gonna go? Like, what's gonna take them out of the world that will
What more
with a tablet?
What more growth is there? I mean, Woody has grown so much in all 4 movies. So it's like, what more is there for him to do? Like,
there's not even like a mentor thing with like a newer toy, which, how do you do that to a tablet?
Well, I think the tablet's going to be the villain.
I think so, and I think that there's going to be a lot more opportunity for humor. Maybe they do go back to the humor. Maybe they do go back to the humor because of all the tablet stuff. Maybe it is a little bit more on the funnier side.
I just hope it's not general humor that anyone could write. I hope it's Toy Story style humor, is what I would say.
Well, Tim Allen said when he was on The Tonight Show, he said he was bawling at the end. So there's definitely... there's definitely going to be the emotional side to it, but it's animation. When I grew up, every year there was new, from all the way up until I can't even pinpoint it, but animation growing up was always a major staple, and even with adults. Even with Trek, like, there was always some form of animation that came out.
Yeah.
And I think that the villain of the new Toy Story is the very reason why we are having a problem with animation. Because everybody's drawing to their devices. Everybody's drawing to the technology. So the biggest threat to animation is the focal point. So I hope that is addressed. I hope they address that.
How is that? What do you mean by that?
Meaning, it's the progression of the short attention span.
Oh yeah.
Of what the technology is, and I think that we had to wait for these animated movies. We had to, there was so much great stuff. Everything is so fast. And everything's at your fingertips now. Now there's just thousands and thousands and thousands of stuff, which is the whole premise of the show. It's like there's just so much stuff they're pumping out. It dilutes the quality.
In the movie, the Toy Story franchise does not need ketchup.
Yeah, no.
It's a complete franchise. It doesn't need anything else.
Yeah. But even with Disney just started to.
It's like the ketchup. It's like when the ketchup bottle is empty and you try to get that last bit of ketchup out. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're like, "Ugh, come on, we need more ketchup." They're hitting it like, yeah. We
need that last. Yeah, they're trying to save. They're trying to save Pixar. Which I don't think they need to do because I heard Zootopia. I haven't seen Zootopia, but I heard that was really good.
That's not Pixar though.
Oh, that's DreamWorks.
That's Disney. No, it's Disney.
It is Disney? Okay, yeah. So Zootopia is Disney.
Well, Inside Out 2 was phenomenal.
Inside Out.
But that's like the first great movie.
But even How to Train Your Dragon, which I love how they did it. But I'm just thinking animation. I love what they did with that. But even then, their vision is... Their vision at Disney was to just repackage everything into live action.
Yes.
Which is a whole other
Pixar hasn't done that yet.
Right. They haven't done that. That would be terrible if they did a live action Toy Story. Because it is live action. It's supposed to be live action.
I think you can't really do live action Pixar movies because the only one I can think of is Monsters Inc. They could do live action. The Incredibles.
That would be terrifying.
That'd be terrifying, yeah. I know. The Incredibles, I mean, The Incredibles is just an animated version of Fantastic Four, and it's the best Fantastic Four movie we've ever gotten. The Incredibles is better than any Fantastic Four movie.
And it still has Samuel L. Jackson still in it.
Yes. I mean, Pixar has
still-
delved into so many genres at this point.
Yeah.
Their original run was just so impressive. It's just, I don't know.
Well,
I
I've showed you the graphic where, you know, every script was what if
yeah,
blank had feelings.
yeah.
And, you know, they had that. They've done every inanimate object they could think of. And now they're going to be delving
What
into
if tablets
something.
had feelings?
Yeah, it's like,
Are they going to
You
go
know.
the AI route, maybe? I mean, that feels way too new to make a
It
movie
does.
about. Like, that's
It
such
does.
a new problem.
even the toys that
And
were in
it's
Toy
not-
Story were older toys.
Yeah,
Like
and
the
it's not
toys that we had when
evergreen.
they first came. No, it's not.
It's not an evergreen
not.
idea because technology. So I hope they focus on the more overreaching technology side than specifically AI because it's too relevant and that's not going to be a giant problem for the next 20 years. Technology will continue to be an issue with pulling
Yeah.
people away from, toys and stuff. I don't know. It's so interesting to see where they're going to go with it. I'm very interested to see where they're going to go.
Yeah.
Not a lot of marketing
Well-
for it either. There's not too much buzz around it, like from the actors and stuff. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Pixar's kind of
Yeah,
like,
there isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't a lot of marketing.
not a lot
for
of
it.
buzz. There's just been like a teaser trailer and a trailer, and it comes out in June this year. So that's not that long from now.
I'll tell you, as a completely separate topic, but I do know that the writer's strike really took a toll, and I think people are still kind of like, but Project Hail Mary took 5 years to make.
Just so I read the book, everybody, just so everybody knows
That he read a book.
that I've read the first book I've ever read. I finally learned how to read. This whole time I didn't know what it said on my hat.
I know, he was like, "We're the me to Tahoe, Tahoe,
I
friend."
know. Buzz had to slap me in the face to get me to think. But
But-
what does Buzz think about this franchise? What do the toys think? Let's get
What do
Woody on
they
the
think?
podcast.
Well, we can do that now with AI. We can create it.
The enemy
We can-
within the enemy.
Yeah. Buzzception. So,
Toyception.
Toyception. Yeah. Yep. I mean, we'll see. I'm definitely going into this cautious. I'm going to watch it, and they know people are going to go to
I'm
watch
gonna
it.
watch it.
Yeah.
I'm just. It's.
I'm
just
going in. Yeah.
scary.
And we'll have a
want them
no
to drop the
spoiler
ball.
review, and then we'll have a spoiler review of it.
In the same episode,
and this,
we'll do no spoilers.
no spoilers, and then after it's like, all right, everybody leave, but
Yes.
then that will like tank our millions and millions of followers.
At least half of the population will still be with us.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
We'll have Thanos come in and snap them away.
That's all. Yeah, I have it this year, right there. So I got both of them.
I got Infinity.
That's right.
Buzz Lightyear. He'd beat Thanos. He's been beyond Infinity.
Yeah, that's true. So, all right. Well, I think that's good. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what's going on with it and how they do everything. It definitely does feel rushed, but they have been.
Yeah.
It had been talked about for a while. I mean, they've been talking about it for like 2 years. So, it's not like they haven't been working on it.
No.
But yeah, well, I mean, and the problem is that animated movies should. I mean, we still don't have the next Spider-Verse, and
That's
it's
because
just-
Lord and Miller are working on
Yeah.
Project Hail Mary, so
Yeah, which
that's
is
an
gonna be amazing.
exception. And I have
Yeah.
only heard good things about that. Everybody says it's a masterpiece.
correct.
So
yeah.
that
but
is
it's also
gonna
the
be
yeah, and it's also the first, and there is no
no. He
sequel to this.
doesn't really do sequels. He writes.
Yeah,
next
he doesn't
books.
do. Yeah, that's
He
it.
lets
so
the story be done. He lets the
Yeah.
story be finished. He wrote a full story.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, let's go on to the next story. Toy Story.
Well, there was no second Jurassic Park either. I mean, there was no second. Well, was there a second Jurassic Park? Did he make Lost World?
I don't.
Maybe he did.
I don't know.
Lost
I
World.
think I think that
I have to fact check myself.
I don't think he did. I think for Toy Story I just
Yeah,
wish
he
the
did do
only-
a second one.
Oh,
He did
okay.
do a sequel.
I just
But that's
wish
it.
I just wish the only good Pixar movies now weren't sequels. I wish they had a new original movie that was good. All their best movies
Yeah.
recently have been sequels. So I just wish they had a new idea. I've been writing to them, but they don't get back to me. I sent them 4 scripts.
Yeah. So, all right. On that note, thank you everybody for tuning in.
Thank you.
We'll have to see how it works.
And what's our art recommendation for the week? Go watch all the Toy Story movies again because they're
All
just
the
as
Toy
good.
Story movies.
They're just as good every time.
I still think you should watch all 4. Yeah.
I do too. No, I still think it's a perfect franchise. That's why I'm saying every time a new one comes out, it risks marring the perfect status in my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So watch them all.
All right.
Not like
Watch them all. All right. Yeah, not later. All right. Bye-bye, everyone.
Adios.
Well, we hope that you liked this discussion about Toy Story. Please click on the link right here or wherever it shows up on the screen so that you can get to the latest episode. We talk about the Grammys, about music in the past versus now, wasn't any better. So please take a listen and like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.